Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at and comparing these two bottles of Schweppes ginger ale. A lot of things have actually changed in a short amount of time. This container is the older one. This one here expired in April of 2000. This one doesn't expire until 2020. This one is manufactured in 2019, and this one here was manufactured in 1998. The older one had a longer shelf life, and if you actually look at this, the plastic is the same color, but the new one is actually darker. And the new one is darker because the new one actually contains more caramel coloring. So as soon as I pour these into a cup, you're going to notice the new one is a lot darker than the old one. Now this one, the bottle's like this because when a plastic bottle loses carbonation, it implodes because there's no longer pressure keeping it expanded. And there are some noticeable differences in the packaging. You see, the new one has these bubbles coming up. The other one just had these small strips. This one here, the logo has definitely changed slightly. These are both caffeine-free containers. Both 2 liters. Now you turn around here. This one has a warning telling you that the contents is under pressure. The newer container doesn't have that warning anywhere on it. And also, we're going to consult both of the nutrition facts. There we go. Now you're going to notice a few things right up front. The sugar has gone up. It used to be 22 grams, now it's 33 grams per serving. And also sodium went up from 25 to 60. And carbohydrates, that went up also too. And also, you know something else? They're both 2-liter bottles, but yet, look at this. Serving size. Right? It tells you there's 8 servings in this container. The newer one's saying there's only 6 servings, so I guess people drink more soda because they are both 2 liters. Yep, 2 liters, 2 liters. Also, something else that's changed. For the longest time in the state of Maine, you used to pay a 10-cent bottle deposit. About 2 years ago, they changed that. Now Maine follows a bunch of other states with only the 5-cent deposit. I personally think they should have left a 10-cent because it encourages people not to leave trash laying around. Okay, now we're focusing on the bottle caps. All newer bottle caps are shorter to save the environment. You see how the older one is a lot taller? In the mid-2000s, they started doing that. The biggest change was noticeable on water bottles because they're so short these days. And also, if you take a look at the flange, this part here, you see how wide that one is? This one's a little bit shorter. The purpose of the flange, that's left over when they make the bottle, but it actually serves an important purpose in the factory. They have something called the aerator. It goes onto a track like this, holding the bottle, and with high-pressure air, it's forced across the factory. It's more efficient than using a conveyor belt because it can move super fast, and that's the purpose of the flange. Just want to point out that's smaller now. We're going to go ahead and lay these on their sides. Something that doesn't really matter, but you see, they are slightly different. Okay, the barcode's different. Something else, pretty much every soda company has scrapped. They no longer print no refill on the newer containers, because that's kind of common knowledge now that you can't get it refilled. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the ingredients part of this. For whatever reason, the new one doesn't mention sugar as an ingredient, but this one here kind of does. It says high fructose corn syrup and or sugar. This one doesn't even mention the sugar for some reason, but it obviously has more sugar than this if you look at the nutrition facts. Well, you see, things have obviously changed with the logo. This here, no longer, now it's just squared off. A lot of things have changed with this. I put these side by side on this piece of paper. Carbonated water is number 1. Number 2 is high fructose corn syrup on both, but this one says and or sugar, then citric acid. This one here, the newer one, has sodium benzoate, which is a preservative. And this one here, that was further down the list, so there was less preservative in the old one. And now you see natural flavors was further up on the list. And now you see the newer one here has caramel coloring right here, right? The older one had caramel coloring on the bottom of the list. That explains why the new one is darker, because it's higher up on the list. And you see the natural flavors, yeah, there was probably more natural flavors in the older one, but we got to give these a taste test just to see. I understand that 20 years has passed, but usually that doesn't make soda taste that bad. Usually tastes okay other than it not being carbonated. Opening up the new one first. That one actually had a small vacuum because of the situation we're in. You see what I mean? The older one is definitely lighter in color. Not a lot, but slightly. You can clearly see the color difference now. Yeah, with that wall in the background now, you can clearly see the newer one is darker, slightly. I'm going to go ahead and stir this up to get rid of all the carbonation, so we'll have a fair comparison, because a lot of people think that somehow it changes it. I don't think it changes the taste at all. You want to know how you get rid of carbonation in soda real fast? You stick a wooden spoon in there. It has a reaction with the wood. Watch this. See that? You don't want to do it too much because it'll foam up all over the table. See that? All the carbonation's being released because it's having a reaction with the spoon. If I was to do it too much, it would explode all over the table. I literally did that a few minutes ago by accident. Just keep doing that and get rid of all the carbonation. You see? It's starting to do it less because we're running out. If I was to do this much movement a few minutes ago, it would have gone all over the table. You see, now I can almost do it constantly. Carbonation is going away. Okay, let's start this. Okay. This one is definitely sweeter, the older one. This one here tastes better. So after the years, what I think what happened here is, and this has nothing to do with the color, this is because this one has more caramel. This one, the natural flavors, I think, degraded. So you're just pretty much tasting the corn syrup, the sugar, the caramel. So it's like, this here tastes like any other ginger ale I've tried that's expired. It tastes like the old 7-Up. They all have that same flavor. So it's like the flavor that's supposed to be is gone. It's just all the caramel, everything left over in it. Kind of tastes the same. I got to admit, it is good. Whatever weird flavor that is, it's really tasty.